Hi, this is Brandon Moon with Moonlit Fly Fishing. Welcome to Fly Tying Night tonight. Tonight we're going to be tying up a olive quill bodied starling soft hackle. This is just a variation of a olive and starling soft hackle or spider in the UK. So with that, we want to go ahead and get started and get this thing going for you. For the hook, we're using the Moonlit Premium Toata ML102. We're tying in a size 16 today. Tie this from a 14 through 20. The thread is Semperfli Classic Wax 12/0 Watery Pale Olive. We're going to start that about the 2/3 to 3/4 mark and wrap that back to the back. The body that we're using is Semperfli's Perfect Quills Light Olive, the 3mm. And we're just going to tie that in right there at the back section. If you want, you can tie in some tail fibers using some like dun colored CDL or hen hackle fibers. We'll trim out the tip of that piece there just so that it gives us a nice smooth underbody as we wrap and secure that over. Don't mind the extra piece, we'll clean that off in just a second. We're going to create a little bit of a taper by going back about 2/3 back and then forward and then about halfway and forward again, where we're going to half hitch. And this is where I'm going to kind of clean out. So now we're going to wrap our quill here, and we'll wrap that with touching wraps, and this is going to give us a nice natural quill look to this fly. You can see that natural segmentation to this body. We'll wrap that all the way up to that tying point. There, I cleaned out that section piece there that I didn't get cleaned out earlier. We're going to secure this down, and I had to tie it in and secure it down upside down this time. Sometimes it's right side up, sometimes it's on the side, just wherever it gives me a nice clean point at that starting point. We'll trim that out. A good couple wraps, 1 or 2 wraps to finish securing that in, and then we'll half hitch, set that to the side. We're going to use Semperfli's No Tack UV resin. I like this because it is more durable and doesn't chip as much as other resins on the market. I put it in a little container, use my bodkin, and we'll just kind of spread that over the top, the bottom, and the sides just to give us a nice smooth body to this fly. Add a little bit more durability. It is a synthetic quill, but I just like to do it just for added security. We'll use the quick dry UV pin to quickly dry that. Now we're just going to take and add some dubbing. I'm going to wrap this thread back to that starting point there, where I'm going to take some insect green superfine dubbing, just a small amount, and put it on my thread with a dubbing noodle. And this is Semperfli's superfine dubbing insect green. Now I'm just going to wrap a little bit of a thorax here, and I want that to stay right there at that starting point so that I don't overcrowd my eye. We'll wrap that, and you'll see that I wrap all the way through and make sure that I don't crowd my eye by wrapping that dubbing too far forward. Now we're going to take a little piece of starling hackle here, and we'll preen those fibers back. A lot of people tie in from the butt. I tie in from the tip. I've found that it gives me a little bit better tie and a little bit better wrap and cleaner at the end. So I'll take my tie-in point and I'll tie that in. And I'll put a good couple wraps, and then I'll pull it back and secure it down with another wrap. This is where that wrap comes in handy. I'm just going to take and preen that tie-in point away so that I can snip it out. Sometimes it's a little easier than other times. This time I got it a little bit closer to the fibers, and I'm just trying to make sure that I don't trim out all the fibers. Excuse my shaking hands. I had a pretty good heavy arm workout today. So now I'm just going to take and wrap this. I'm using the easy Hackle pliers here. And I'm just going to wrap that and palmer that rearward with every wrap. And it's going to give me about 2 or 3 wraps with this starling. Not a lot. Keeps it nice and sparse, which is good. We'll wrap that. Now we're going to give one more wrap to finish that off. Now I'll take and secure that down with my thread. I'm going to go over the top and then in front. I can just pull that thread or that stem once I've secured it down to break it. This stem broke on its own, so we'll make sure and use some head cement just to help secure that in. Now we're going to whip finish. And we'll give a good 3-turn, maybe 4-turn whip. And then we'll trim it out with our little trim tool on our Loon ergonomical whip finish tool. Now we'll take our Loon head cement and we'll just put a little dab of head cement. I'm going to pull my Hackle fibers back just so that I keep it out of my Hackle fibers. You can see we got a little bit in there. I'll take a bare hook and I'm just going to make sure I clean out the eye of that hook. You can see my shaking arms from lifting weights. I'll just clean that out. You can see I've got a Hackle fiber. It's kind of screw wampus. It's not going to matter too much in the water, but to me it just looks out of place, so I'm just going to trim that out. And there you have the Quill Bodied Olive Starling Soft Hackle.